How you doing, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Craft Beer Corner, taped right here at the 94.1 KRNA studios in beautiful downtown Cedar Rapids. I'm James Larson, and as always, I'm joined with my co-hosts over there from the Mellow Mushroom, one of our sponsors, Mellow Mushroom in Coralville, Iowa, Mr. Drew Knutson.
Good morning, James.
And as always, from Metro Studios, Mr. Grumpy Pants himself, Kirk Hayden. Kirk,
only
how
about
are you?
beer, am I grumpy?
Yeah, only about beer. But today you're in a good mood, and you invited a friend along. It's hard to believe that this guy has so many friends, Drew, but you brought another friend, so why don't you do the introduction?
No, wait a second. Before we get to last week, if you're watching for the first time, last week we had the gentleman from the craft beer crew.
Yeah.
Just great guest. And now look at what we're doing. Probably the best brewer in the state.
Yes.
Take it away. Take it away.
Absolutely. So we have Todd Weil from Clock House Brewing right here in downtown Cedar Rapids.
Yes.
One of my favorite breweries, I will say. Look at this.
Look at it.
Appreciate that.
How did he get a shirt already, man?
yeah.
This is technically I'm the host of the show. How did you get a shirt
I
already?
won it.
It's
I
already
went
won
to
it.
their
Yeah.
I went to their tap room and they blew a keg. And they give away a shirt when they do that.
No
That's
kidding.
right. You
Yeah.
just have to show up.
Wow.
Very cool. It's
Light
yours.
bulb moment.
I like it. Well, we'll talk more about that. But first, I know there's so many questions that we all have, but how did you ever get started, Todd? And I understand, my producer gave me a note, you were a home brewer since back in 1994. So how did this whole thing happen?
Yeah, correct. That was many years ago. 94. My wife's uncle actually got me into it. I went to his house one time. He offered me a home brew. I was, I'll date myself here, 22 at the time. And he offered me a home brew. I'm like, you can brew beer at home? I was pretty excited about that, actually. And he kind of told me about it, told me where to get the stuff, and the rest is history. So, yeah, started and got hooked on it.
Wow.
So when you talk about being a home brewer, and now fast forward to 2017,
Right.
Clock House starts. Is Clock House like a big Disney World for you from a home brewing standpoint? And now
Yeah.
you actually get to make your recipes that you were making in your garage?
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. So, yeah, every recipe we have at Clock House is something that I started with the homebrew recipe.
Wow.
So, yeah, we dialed them up. Had to change. Nothing dials up linear, of course, but we took our recipes, brewed them many, many times prior to put them on the big batch, the big brewery, and there you go. Yeah.
We're going to have hundreds of listeners, of viewers, going to shake their head to this statement, James, and you know this more than anything. We just talked about the garage. Honestly, how many great rock and roll bands
Absolutely.
started in a garage?
There you go.
Right.
I mean,
Great
straight
point.
up, right?
Great point.
Straight up. Okay.
Yeah, well, you're not in the garage anymore. Tell everybody
No.
real quick here, and right down the road from us here in Cedar Rapids, but a lot of people watch this show here in the Midwest. Tell everybody exactly where you're at in Cedar Rapids.
Yeah, so we are on it's 600 First Street, Southeast Cedar Rapids, so it's downtown, right in the heart of downtown. We're in the old Furniture Mart building, so we share the building with Black Sheep Social Club. They're our partner in crime. We're in the back. People get a little confused thinking that we're one, but we're actually two separate companies. We have our own tap room. We do get some food, some appetizers, nice finger food from their kitchen, so we worked out a nice deal with them. They carry 4 of our beers on tap at their bar, so it's a really good relationship we have with them.
Kirk, you and I talk about this a lot, competition. I mean, these things are popping up on every corner, it feels like, okay? So, like I said the other day when we were coming back from a meeting, Kirk says, how do these people stay in business? How do you do it? How do you set yourself apart from the other breweries here, especially locally?
Yeah, that's a tough one with all the breweries popping up. I think we're over 5,000 in the United States now, which is just insane. Yeah, there is a lot of competition. Originally you think, we're going to have a brewery. People just flock to us just because we are a brewery. That really isn't the case so much. There is a lot of competition. There's a lot of great beer in Iowa. And I think you got to kind of set yourself apart just having great beer, keep it real, keep it new. Everybody wants the newest, greatest thing in their restaurant bar. And so we'll try to come up with new recipes and keep it exciting. And just have a real nice, comfortable place to come and sit down, relax, and mingle with your friends.
I love to carry your beer, Todd, as you know
I
I do
appreciate
down there
everything you've done.
down there at Mellow Mushroom.
great
And I tell you, here and we've had this conversation.
Yeah.
And I know for everybody that keeps watching this show, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. When you go into a place that has 12 beers on tap, or if you go into someone that has 74, how about in Des Moines when you go to that place that now has 268 beers on tap? Right? We all know what we're talking about. But anyway, I love that idea. It really, how do you get somebody's attention? At the end of the day, the beer's going to stand up. The beer has to stand up if somebody's going to drink it. But it really comes down to just having a brand and having fun with the brand and saying, here, just pay attention to me for a second because my beer is going to stand up and we got to get to the beer. But Clock House, real quick, where did that come from? And then when we get into these names, why do you tend to go where you go with some of these fun, awesome names?
Yeah, almost a little PG-13-ish, if
Yes,
you will,
yes,
my friend.
yes.
That's right.
Well, it is. You do have to be 21 to drink the beer.
true. Yeah,
so,
good point.
so there you go.
Good point.
A lot of experimental thinking while we're drinking, maybe. I don't know. So Clock House. So to tell the story quickly, I say I was a home brewer for many years. I was looking at starting a brewery maybe 5-6 years ago, really getting serious about it. And I was sitting at a baseball game, and a good friend of mine, Stephanie, that is part of the brewery as well. She was sitting with my wife. Both of our
Great gal. That gal.
Great gal.
Yeah.
Both of our sons played on the same baseball team for Prairie, and I'm talking to my friends about brewery, and she kind of leans over. What are you talking about, brewery? I said, yeah, I'm thinking about quitting my corporate job and starting a brewery. And she's like, that is just crazy because the guy I'm working with right now is renovating Black Sheep Building, and he wants to put a brewery in the back of the building. And she's like, if you're serious, I'll introduce you to him. So that's kind of what happened. Like we had met a couple weeks after that, and we met 3 or 4 times. And
so where does Clock come from?
Yeah, Clock. So
Clock
the
House.
building itself is renovated. It's like I say, you got Black Sheep Social Club on the first floor, and the building itself is the Clock House. So
The building itself. There you go.
Yeah, it is
Okay.
the building. So he cut in some nice big clocks. If you've seen them, 9-foot clock in both sides of the building. And so we just took the name. We thought, hey, people are looking for the building, looking for the brewery. They'll see the clock, and it makes sense.
Watch these names,
Yeah.
James. Let's do it.
Well,
Watch
we're
these
gonna do
names
that
of
right
these
now.
beers. Here we
And,
go.
By the way, we're with Todd Weil here from Clock House Brewing, and it's as we record this here in Cedar Rapids, the heat index today in about an hour, it's going to feel like about 110 degrees. So why don't we start off? I don't like water. You guys know that. It's no fun to drink water. It's good to stay hydrated, but I'd rather have a shandy, and you call this the Handy Shandy, only 3.5%
That's right.
ABV. That means I can literally drink these all day, right, Kirk? Is that okay?
Is that right? That's not a typo. 3.95%.
You could probably
That
drink
is
them a
correct.
little faster than some beers.
Can I put a
right,
shot
that-
in here of something?
I mean, heavens, James, the mouthwash you were chugging here before the show, so we could stand being in the same room with you, has more alcohol than this beer.
Yeah, talk about the Handy Shandy, though. It's good stuff. This is
Yeah.
my favorite out of the 3 because I've tried all 3. I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to wait, but
he
I
crept
love,
ahead of us.
I love the Handy Shandy.
Okay,
my
very
friend.
good. Yeah, it was just something we had talked about putting something out for the summer. And so we took our base beer, which is our Munich Helles, and we infused it with some lemonade, a little bit of passion fruit and grapefruit in there, if you can get that on the back of the tongue. So, yeah, so when you mix it with Helles, which is 4.5, do a little bit of, thick glasses math, and it comes up with 3.5.
What do you think, Mr. Hayden?
It's really, really good. This is, as I call it, lawn mowing beer.
Yes.
And, I mean, they love it on Untapped. It's getting a 3.95
Right,
out
I
of
see
5
that.
for
I
those
see that.
shandy lovers.
Yeah.
I haven't
So
looked. What's on
that's
tap?
solid, isn't it?
Yeah, and I know Todd is going to say, okay, cut. Or stop the productions. Actually, I have a couple customers right now. They actually ask for ice in their glass.
Really?
Because the colder you get, it is it's my top selling shandy down there.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, the colder you get it, the better it is. I mean, I keep my beer really cold.
Nice.
The colder you get it, the better it is.
Very good.
Yeah.
Beer
Yeah.
number 2 is
Delicious.
the Hell to Pay. And Kirk, you
Yeah.
were telling me in the production meeting, for our domestic beer drinkers out there, this is another easy one on the palate.
Right. I mean, it's that domestic beer. You go to a tap room like Clock House, and you go there with friends that like craft beer, and maybe you're a domestic beer drinker. Todd, you were telling me a story about Christmas
Right.
time.
Yeah, Christmas time, it was our number 1 seller for, I think, December and January, actually.
And why was that?
A lot of Christmas parties, a lot of people
Yeah.
getting kind of pulled in there with friends and
Sure.
with, with work and what have you, and we went through so much of this.
Give me the
it was
Bud
amazing.
Light, right?
Yeah,
Give me the Bud
right.
Light,
Yeah.
right?
What do you got that's like?
Well, I tell you what, Munich Helles, right? So Helles is a German word. It stands for bright, and you can tell by the
Yeah.
beer that's exactly what they are.
Clarity,
A
yeah.
very light, bright lager. That's what it's
Absolutely.
about.
All right, well, the last one here, I love the name of it. Who came up with this? This is the Witch Slap, and it's 5.8% ABV, and I haven't tried it yet. I was lying about taking all 3. I was drinking those first 2 because I love them so much,
There
but
you
I'm going
go.
to try it
Take
right now.
Take it.
This
take
is
it
your
right.
beer.
This
Kurt,
is my
your
beer, guys. This
yeah.
is
Ooh, that's good.
This is if it's not 1, it's 2 in my all-time beers. That's
Really?
a pretty broad statement.
Hey, wow.
And I told Todd this the other day. I said, this thing ranks right up there. It is a Northeast IPA. So,
an IPA, yep.
But what I like about this Northeast IPA is it's not so far over on the milky, citrusy,
Right.
juicy area. I almost call it kind of that in-between for an American IPA
Yeah.
and a Northeast IPA. And I think that's where your recipe has just absolutely hit the mark.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
this
appreciate
is
that.
good.
Fantastic.
This is
ABV
good.
on that is
Yeah, it's
5.8, so that's
Yeah.
that's actually pretty low too for this type of beer. So
Yeah, we're
even
playing with
better.
that a little bit. We're going to sneak it up a little bit, hit 6. So this latest batch, we crept it up just a little bit. So yeah,
he just
We'll
keeps
sneak
stepping
over
it
the
up,
line,
Todd. You
sneak
just
over
keep
the line.
stepping it
Yeah.
up. Keep
Well, that's
stepping it
all
up.
good.
But
Know the
over
name,
a four,
so-
over a 4 on Untapped.
Yeah,
So
it's good
beer
stuff.
drinkers love
It's
this
good
beer.
stuff. Well, Todd, we're running out of time here.
Oh,
We try to
sounds
keep
great.
this at 10, 11 minutes. Before we go, if people want to learn more about Clock House, how can they do that website, things like that?
Yeah, social media, obviously.
Sure.
Come down to the tap room if you're in the area. Like I say, you can enter through the back. Kind of exciting thing for us. We're going to cater to the bike crowd. We're going to build a big deck on the backside. So that's exciting for us.
I'm
It's coming
excited about
soon.
that
Yeah,
part. Yep.
Absolutely.
For sure. All right. You know what? I love my job, people, because I get to hang out with friends and try new beers. And Todd, thanks so much for stopping by the
Thank you
show.
for having me.
And,
sure do
and we
appreciate it.
continue to try to be on the leading edge, trying to show all of our listeners what's fresh, what's new, right, James?
You're right about that. All right, do us a favor and like and share this page. Tell all your friends. It's the Craft Beer Corner, where we're making beer drinking great again.